Hello, I'm Doug Risner from Wayne State University. I'm a professor in the Department of Theater and Dance. My focus is in the dance area and in online course development and online teaching. Um, this video is meant to sort of track how I came to online teaching. I had taught face-to-face courses for over 25 years before I ventured into web-based learning. And over the past 7 years, I've created 11 courses fully online, and then a number of hybrid courses at Wayne State. I've also served on grants from the National Endowment for the Arts for online curriculum development and teaching with the National Dance Education Organization, and have designed and taught 3 courses in their online institute. More recently, I've begun to create courses for other universities. Most recently for the University of North Carolina at Greensboro in their graduate program in dance education. In this video, I want to sort of trace how I first became interested, the process and strategies that I've developed, all of which are very much based on Quality Matters standards, their rubric for outstanding online education. And I'll provide some examples of previous courses that I designed and taught, and then the most recent graduate course at the University of North Carolina. I came to Wayne State in 2003 as chair of the dance department. And at that point, we had just added a Bachelor's of Fine Arts degree based on a generous gift from a major benefactor, Maggie Allisey. And most of our energies, well, nearly all of our energies, were directed toward that intense professional degree program, much of which requires face-to-face contact for emerging dance performers and choreographers, dance artists. In 2007, we began a 2-year process of revising the Bachelor's of Science degree, a degree that had not been revised probably since the 1980s. And as we began to think about a liberal arts degree in dance, we began thinking more broadly beyond performing and choreographing to all of the related dance professions. It's at that point that my interest in online courses became, web-based instruction became much more significant. We were looking for ways in which students could meet expectations in alternative ways. And one of the expectations for the degree, as I've highlighted here, was to give the BS degree its own identity, and in doing that, to truly embrace technology and the ability to deliver coursework in much more accessible ways with flexibility. And so online coursework became very important to me, not just a mode of delivery, but in terms of satisfying degree requirements, accelerated plans, and also to use technology and web-based learning to complement to distinguish the Bachelor's of Science liberal arts degree from the BFA. As we move forward, and I'm just scrolling through a recent article I published on the revision. That degree, the core curriculum, is primarily an online or online hybrid. And here are the courses, and I've highlighted both their sequence, what year it is in their program, but also the kind of delivery. So you'll see the truly classroom course is a hands-on experiential dance and community course. Otherwise, it's a mix of web-based and hybrid forms of delivery. The first course was to develop the dance history course, and I'll show you that some of that course next. The dance history course that I designed as the first course, online course I developed, and the textbook I use by K.L. Cassing is extremely significant in the course design because of its interactive arts approach. As you'll see to the left, the Quality Matters rubric standards are addressed in Start Here, in terms of making it very, very clear what the course is about, how to navigate the course, where things are located, and then it follows through each of the tabs. The course also, while it was part of the Bachelor's of Science degree in dance, the course also at Wayne State University fulfills the visual and performing arts requirement, which is a general education requirement. But the online environment, again, for clarity, scope, presentation, expectation, assessment, following those Quality Matters standards was very beneficial to me. And again, this was my first online course. All of the discussion boards are contained within specific groups. For this particular course, I had 2 groups, which makes the class size feel a little smaller. I often have somewhere between 45 and 60 students, and so I follow the Quality Matters standards, which is to have a informal and moderated place for students to communicate, also a more specific board for questions. And then each of the units, their assignments are posted, but there's also a contemporary issues board that I instituted to try to make sense of the history of dance that we're talking about and what sort of relationship and insights do students have today. The other challenge was showing all of the types of social dances that are very important to dance history. Social dances have had an immense impact on what we would consider professional dance art. So each of the videos, and I'll just open one. Here's Giselle from the Romantic period. Each of the videos is on its own player, and each of them are each has its own almost table of contents, so that students, depending upon how much time they have in a particular day that they're going to work on this module, are able to know exactly what they've seen. So each one is clickable, and they can just make a note. I've seen up through pas de deux, and then I know I need to watch, the next thing I need to watch is the pas de deux. And what's really powerful about this for students' flexibility and access is that they can watch the videos as many times as they want. In a face-to-face course, this doesn't happen. If you when you show a video, you show it once. And of course, all of the videos are completely password protected. They cannot be ripped off. They can't be copied. In each video, and I believe there are 32 videos in this course, remain on the site alone. The only way they can watch it is to watch it live. They cannot copy or paste it. The other important issue is the textbook itself, which this particular book, History of Dance, An Interactive Approach by Gail Cassing, also includes an entire index of additional materials for Chapter 1, for Chapter 2, and many of them are hyperlinked, where students can do their own research. They can focus on their own interests, and in a course like this, a textbook with these sort of interactive environment is extremely important. I've also more recently, since 2010, developed a number of online courses for other organizations and institutions. What you're looking at on the screen was courses funded by the National Endowment for the Arts for the Online Professional Development Institute of the National Dance Education Organization. This particular course is an introduction to dance education research. And this course was a challenge because the target audience was vast. Dance educators in the field newly, and then others who had been in the field for many years and had a research background. This particular platform is delivered on LAMP Sakai, which is a wonderful consortium of institutions who use the platform for both university credit as well as organizational or association professional development. It's a very user friendly platform, and I have laid the course out very much like I do all of my courses in terms of quality matters, so that every module in a modular design, of course, is laid out for students from the beginning, at the very beginning, until the end, and so that expectations are very clear. What's expected, when it's expected, with rubrics for evaluation. And for this course, I used a number of scholars in the field who willingly and happily devoted their time and energy to, I think there's one here, to post their own podcasts in terms of their own research and why and how research in dance education is important. For example, it's clickable. This is Dr. Naomi Jackson from the University of Arizona.
I think of research very broadly as involving
as you can see
all
here.
aspects of
My apologies.
From the intellectual to the emotional, spiritual.
This is very important. Each module
so that means
has at least one
reading,
podcast from someone in the field, an active researcher. The most recent online course that I've developed is a graduate course at the master's level for the University of North Carolina at Greensboro, and you're looking at the opening announcement page, and I'd just like to highlight the way the course is organized. And again, all of the courses that I design are based on Quality Matters standards and requirements. So the course always opens to the announcement page so that students have the ability to know what's most current. Obviously, any sort of announcement is also emailed to students. But I do want to go through some of the left navigation here. All of my courses begin with Start Here. This is part of the first thing that students do. And I'd ask them to go through all of the different tabs from so that they know how to find what they need to find and to explain what's where. And it does also include an introduction of themselves, my own introduction, announcements we've already seen, of course. Syllabus and grading information is very important. This particular graduate course in dance curriculum has a large project at the end of the course, and so that is posted as well. And then the majority of the course resides at the course module tab. So as you'll see, every module, beginning with module 1 with its own objectives and learning outcomes, resides on its own page all the way until the final module. And then of course each module from the course module's outline, it's clickable, and it takes the student directly to a more in-depth explanation of what we're going to be doing, and then everything is, due dates are clear, and then each module is segmented into specific parts. Everything is broken down, as you'll see. There's a reading, there's a writing assignment, there's a post, there's a writing assignment, and then a post, so that it's very, very clear to students from the beginning. Each of the discussion boards are tied directly to the module. And again, we start, as I had shown you in the dance history, we start with the class lounge. It's unmoderated, it's a place to communicate specific questions about class, but also students are encouraged to respond if they know the answer or have something that they can add. For this particular course as a graduate class, we also have a curriculum reflections board, which allows them to make a number of different posts that are designated as reflections, and it serves as an archive for them to go back at their and look at their work. This particular class, again, is a graduate course. Also has a big ideas bucket, and this is really archival. It's not formal. It can be notes to self, memos, documents, quotes, that allow them to keep track. And then, of course, each module has its own discussion board. Very rarely do I use submit assignment privately. The courses I teach are really based on a social construction of knowledge. This course also uses discussion pairs so that students are paired. They're in two groups and then they're paired throughout the course. And those pairings continue to rotate all the way through into the final project. And then the final project is in groups of, with this particular course, three groups of 3 and then 1 group of 4 for feedback on their final project. Again, as before, readings are consolidated by module so that it's easy to find. There aren't a number of videos in this course, but there are some. And these are all, again, by module, and they can just quickly click here. And again, each of these has players, so that if students only have 20 minutes to watch, they could begin with the opening segment.
I started collecting ads in the late 1960s. Many aspects of my life led to this. My involvement.
And they could watch the entire thing. They could watch half of it and then note where they are so that they aren't going to waste their time. And again, with Quality Matters, there has to be links to resources as well as instructor info, and then of course to their grades, and again, students can always refer at any point back to where things are, where they can find the information that they need. Over the next 3 years, my next large web-based curriculum project will be to develop and design online coursework for a master's degree in dance and theater teaching artistry at Wayne State. This MA program will have a fully online plan as well as a hybrid version of the degree. Dr. Mary Elizabeth Anderson, Assistant Professor of Theater, is the MA degree coordinator, and I will serve as the lead online course designer working with the cohort degree faculty. I'm very much looking forward to working with my colleagues, sharing my expertise and what I've learned over the past 7 years, and what I've learned about online students and how they best learn as we devise 4 new courses and revise 2 others for the web-based learning environment at the graduate level.